Welcome to Cinema Bites, your go-to for movie recaps in a flash. Big twists, epic moments, all in just minutes. The movie The Clown starts with a mother named Sophia. Today is her son Jack's birthday, and she was preparing a beautiful party to make him happy. She even booked a clown to dance with them all night. The party office called and told her that clown they booked unfortunately wouldn't be able to come, and there were only a few hours left before the party. She was stressed and didn't know what to do, so she called her husband and told him the clown canceled and that he had to do something because their son would be upset if there was no clown at the party. He replied, "I'll handle it." He takes the apartment from the client and puts it up for sale, taking his commission. At that time, there was an apartment among the ones he was selling, and he was putting on anything he could find, pretending to be a clown. By coincidence, he finds an old wooden chest that was locked, and luckily he finds a clown costume inside. He decides to wear it and go to the party to make his son happy. Indeed, he arrives at the party in this outfit, and his son and his friends are delighted, and they have a wonderful day together. After the party, Kent is very tired and exhausted from all the effort, so he's too lazy to take off the costume, and Sophia tells him, "Come on, take off the costume to take your son to school." He goes into the bathroom and tries to take off the wig, but is surprised that it won't come off. He tells Sophia, "I can't take off the costume." She tells him not to worry, that it probably got stuck because he slept in it, and to take his son to school there's no time, and to take it off when he gets back. So he takes his son to school wearing the clown costume, then goes to work. The workers didn't recognize him at first because of the clown outfit, but after they spoke to him, they realized he was their friend Kent. He told them, "My son Jack wanted a clown to take him to school, so I made his dream come true." Then he goes to the bathroom to try to take off the strange costume and tries every way to remove it from his body, but nothing works. He tries to take off the wig, but it's still very difficult, as if the costume has become a part of his body. He finds a box cutter in the drawer in front of him and tries to cut the costume with, but he injures himself and the costume doesn't get cut. He tries even more brutal methods to get rid of it. He takes a saw and goes into the bathroom and tries to cut the costume with it, but strangely the saw breaks and the costume isn't even. He goes home and finds Sophia's father there, so he waits until he leaves so he doesn't see him in this state. When he's sure he's gone, he enters the house. Sophia says, "What, you're still wearing that costume?" He replied, "I tried many ways to take off the wig and the suit, but I couldn't." She was a dentist, so she got her surgical tool, tried to remove the red ball from his nose, but it was stuck hard to his skin. She froze it and pulled it hard, and a piece of flesh came off with it. He screamed from the pain. In the midst of the chaos, their dog came and ate the red nose that had fallen off, which in itself was going to cause a disaster. Jack woke up from sleep because of their loud voice. Sophia told him, "It's nothing, honey, go back to sleep. You have school tomorrow." After that, he went to the hospital to treat the wound on his nose. He went to the doctor. The doctor treated the wound and said, "You must have glued the ball to your nose. The solution now is to take a hot shower so the glue comes off." Even though he wasn't convinced by the doctor's words, he had to follow them, hoping it would work. He stayed in the bathtub under hot water for an hour until he almost fainted. After he got out, he felt an unnatural hunger and started eating anything in front of him, but he still wasn't satisfied. He felt like he needed to eat meat to feel. The next day, Sophia woke up and was shocked to find the kitchen in chaos, as if an animal had been eating there. She found a message from Kent that said, "I'm going out to look for an explanation for what's happening to me." We moved to Kent, who was in the apartment where he found the suit. He reached the place of the box and found KC written on it, and it was tied with iron chains. He realized there was a big mystery behind this box that he didn't understand, so he decided to go to the registry and get the papers for the apartment to see its history. After he got the apartment files, he sat in a quiet cafe and went through the files until he reached the name of the original owner, but he had died some time ago. While he was lost in thought, he saw a child looking at him and something inside him told him to eat, but he snapped out of it at the last moment and regained his senses. After that, he went to a costume shop and asked the saleswoman if she knew anything about the suit he was wearing. She said, "No, it's the first time I've seen it, honestly, but I can help you. Here are the names of famous shops. You can ask them." He noticed a shop called KC, the same name that was written on the box. He called the shop owner and told him everything in detail. The owner was shocked and asked, "Where and when did you find it?" "Never wear that suit, no matter what happens." Kent said, "I already wore it." He gave him an address and said, "Come to this address and I'll help you get rid of it." After a while, Kent arrived at the address and met a man named Magic. He told him, "The suit you're wearing is cursed. Anyone who wears it gets possessed by a demon. Anyway, drink this cup of tea first to clear your mind." He started telling him the story of the suit and said, "With time, you'll start kidnapping children and eating them because the demon inside you is a cannibal. But there is only one way to get rid of this demon." Kent started to lose consciousness because Magic had put a sedative in his tea. After a while, he woke up to find himself tied up, and Magic was holding a cleat, wanting to cut off his head. He said, "This is the only solution for the demon inside you to come out. Just as he was about to kill him, Kent freed himself at the last moment. He threw the cleaver at him, and it hit his shoulder. Then he threw him to the ground, and Kent took a gun from his pocket and he wanted to kill him. But he didn't do this because he is the only one who will help him. He tells him that this suit is not a suit, it is the devil's skin. So he ties up Mike and takes him with him in the car. He goes back to his house and finds Sophia. He tells her everything, but is shocked to find her family there, who have heard everything. One of them thinks he's crazy and takes the wig off his head, so he grabs his hand to defend himself, but his hand breaks and the bone comes out. He is surprised by his superhuman. Then he tells them, I'll hand Mike over to the police and I'll turn myself in too. Maybe they can get the devil out of me. While they are leaving, Kent notices that his body parts are starting to transform and the devil is taking over him more. As soon as Mike sees him transforming, he chokes him with the handcuffs because he knows, more than anyone, that if Kent transforms, no one will be able to stop him. Kent starts losing control and they get into an accident. Kent gets out of the car angry and drags Mike out. Mike tells him, kill yourself quickly before you fully transform. That's the only way to prevent the devil from possessing your body. At that moment, an Arab car stops in front of them, with 2 children inside. As soon as he sees them, he starts to feel hungry and the devil tells him to attack and eat them. But he snaps out of it at the last moment, pulls himself away, and enters the forest to get away from them. Inside the forest, there's a family tent with a child inside. The child leaves the tent to wash a dish. While walking, he hears a sound nearby, shines his light towards, and is surprised to see him standing there, staring in the darkness, looking exhausted and unnatural. He says to the child, "Do you have anything to eat?" The child gets scared, pulls out a biscuit and says, "Here you go, uncle." Suddenly, he grabs the child's hand and eats his fingers. The next day, Sophia arrives at her son's school principal and says, "If my husband comes to take Jack, don't let him, no matter what." She says goodbye to her son and leaves. Meanwhile, he looks at himself in the mirror and discovers his original teeth are falling out, replaced by deformed teeth so he can tear human flesh. He's scared and doesn't know where to go. He gets the idea to hide in one of the apartments he's selling. He arrives at the apartment, and before entering, he finds a child greeting him innocently. Seeing the child, he feels hungry again, and the devil urges him to kidnap and eat the child. He tells the boy to leave and stay away, restrains himself, enters the apartment, locks the door, and goes to the bathroom to do the unexpected. He calls Sophia and says, "Take care of Jack. This is the last time you'll hear my voice. There's only one way to get rid of the devil inside me." He hangs up, puts the gun in his mouth, and thinks of his son Jack, about how much he'll miss. He kills himself, but strangely, the blood that comes out looks like a rainbow. After a few seconds, his eyes open. The devil inside him has revived him. He goes to a hardware store and buys several electric saws to separate his head from his body. Meanwhile, Sophia is still worried after his call saying he'd kill himself. She searches all the houses he listed for sale, hoping to find him hiding in one. At the same time, he places 2 saws facing each other, intending to tip the chair onto the saws and separate his head from his body. At first, he's scared but starts to encourage himself. Suddenly, he loses balance, falls beside them, and hits them from the side. So this suicide attempt also failed. At that moment, the child he spoke to worried about him, wanting to check on him. Suddenly, the saw breaks, and a piece enters the child's head. He is shocked and saddened by what happened. But when he tastes the blood, his feelings change completely and he starts eating the child piece by piece. After a while, Sophia arrives at the house, knocks on the door, and calls for him. He hears her voice and says, "Don't open the door. I'm not normal. If you come in now, I'll eat you unconsciously." "Leave me?" Sophia says, "I won't leave you. I'll stay with you until we solve this problem together." He opens the door and says, "Take me away from here. I've become a cannibal." She looks inside the apartment and sees the bones of the child he just ate. She locks him in the basement and chains him with iron chains, then starts to understand what's happening. He tells her, "There's a guy named Mike in the hospital. He's the one who can give you any information to get rid of this curse." She goes to the hospital and finds Mike sick and unable to speak. So he grabs a notebook and writes, "I'm the only one who can help." He describes the address of the apartment where he found the suit. She arrives at the apartment and searches every corner, discovering something strange. A camera fixed in front of a wooden chair with handcuffs. She manages to play the recorded footage and sees frightening scenes of a person wearing a clown suit, causing chaos and trying desperately to break free. He doesn't look human at all. We move to Jack's school, where Jack is crying because all the kids are mocking his father's appearance. A boy named John comes and puts glue on his hand to smear it on Jack's face, but Jack bites his hand and runs away, then goes home to tell his mother, but doesn't find her. He hears a voice from the basement calling him. He says, "Dad, are you there?" He replies, "Come down. I'm waiting for you." Jack goes down and finds his father. He says, "What's wrong? Why are you crying?" Jack says, "My friends are bullying me." He asks, "What's his name exactly?" Jack replies, "His name is John." He says, "Get those keys over there and unlock me." Meanwhile, Sophia takes the camera and leaves. She gets a call from a friend saying, "Your son Jack isn't at school." Sophia panics and rushes home to check if her son arrived. She enters, calling for Jack, her heart pounding with fear and nerves frayed, only to find him sitting in the living room, calm and unharmed. She asks, "Why did you leave?" He replies, "My friends beat me." We move to John, who bullied Jack and is in his room playing PlayStation. He enters and says, "So you're the one bothering my son?" He attacks and eats him savagely. We move to Sophia, who is packing her bags with Jack to leave the house, afraid that after he left, he might come back and attack and eat them. The problem is the dog was cursed with the same curse as him. The dog attacks her and is about to eat her when Mike arrives at the last moment and saves her. Sophia says, "I saw the videos recorded on the camera and I want you to explain what this curse is." He sits and explains the whole story. "I work in fashion and every week I get a shipment from abroad. The devil's suit was among the shipment, but before I sold it, I felt its design was different and I really liked it. At the time, my brother worked as a doctor in a children's hospital and they had a big party. I decided to do a good deed and I wish I hadn't. I wore the cursed suit and went to the party, but I couldn't take it off again and the devil possessed me. I asked my brother to help me and he tied me up like you saw in the camera footage. He started talking to the devil inside me to get him out. The devil demanded 5 children to eat to leave my body, or another solution to separate my head from my body. My brother brought me 5 children and I ate them. After the curse was broken, I put the suit in a wooden box and hid it in the apartment your husband took." Sophia said, "But he said the only solution is to separate his head from his body." He replied, "I told him that, so I could sacrifice him. It's better than sacrificing 5 children. We have to see where he is now." They go to nearby children's amusement park, and they guess he's probably there. On the other side, we see him sitting inside one of the rides, waiting for any child to come in so he can eat them. We see the poor, unlucky child get surprised. He was waiting for him inside, and blood and the rest of the child's body parts fall out of the ride. When the other children see this, they scream and chaos breaks out everywhere. Sophia and Mike arrive at the place, and as soon as they see the chaos, they understand that you are here and have caused a disaster. They search for him everywhere, and he asks them, "Why did I do this?" Sophia approaches him, scared, and says, "Come back home with us, and I promise I'll help you and do anything to lift this curse off you." In the middle of the conversation, Mike pulls out an axe and hits him on the head, but the blow doesn't affect him. He knocks Mike to the ground and is about to kill him. Sophia begs, "Please don't kill him for my sake." The devil starts talking to her, looks into her eyes, and says, "I only need one more child for the curse to end. If you don't bring me that child, I'll eat Jack, our son." Sophia calls her father because she left Jack with him and tells him, "Take Jack and leave town right now." He asks, "What's wrong, daughter?" She replies, "Don't ask, just take him and leave now." While she's talking, she sees a lost child in front of her, so she hangs up and heads towards him to kidnap him, but his mother finds him at the last moment and saves him. After that, she sits in her car, thinking about what to do about this disaster. Suddenly, a girl knocks on the window and asks her for a ride. Sophia feels the opportunity has come to her and heads to the place where she had agreed to meet him. As soon as they arrive, the girl gets out of the car and waits for him to come eat her. Every minute that passes, Sophia feels guilty and regrets what she's doing. A police officer arrives and asks her, "Why did you bring the girl here to such a deserted place?" She replies, "I was just giving her a ride and my car broke down." After that, Sophia deduces that since you're not here, you must be going to eat Jack, her son. She heads to her father's house, and when she arrives, she finds her father and son are both fine. Her father asks, "What's wrong, daughter? You called and worried me about you." He comes from behind and kills him. The devil inside him speaks in his voice, saying, "Only one child left." Quickly, Sophia goes down to the garage and grabs a hammer to defend herself. She spots her son Jack standing on the stairs and tells him, "Go upstairs, go." He arrives at that moment and attacks her. Sophia tries to hit him with the hammer and actually injures him, but of course it doesn't affect the devil. He chokes her and says, "Where's your son Jack?" At that moment, he hears Jack's voice and lets her go, trying to catch Jack to eat him. But Sophia doesn't let him. She grabs a knife and stabs him in the back, then slashes his neck, but she can't sever it completely. He gets angry, picks her up, and throws her with all his strength. Because of the force of the blow, she passes out. We see Jack, who was hiding in the basement under the stairs, and he tries to break the stairs to reach him. She manages to wrap a chain around his neck and pull it, and his neck is almost severed from his body. But the devil speaks in his voice and says, "Is this how you treat me, Sophia? I have no one but you, Sophia." She feels sorry for him and lets him go, then checks on her son. Suddenly, the devil screams and tries to free himself from the chain, but Sophia hits him on the head with the hammer as hard as she can, finally severing his head from his body. She hugs her son and says, at that moment, they get rid of the curse, and we see his face, but unfortunately, he's dead. After a while, the police arrive and take his body to the forensic department, wrapping up all the tools he had with him, including the clown suit.